What's going on, guys? Renegade here. Another nice, relaxing day. I'm out here working on cars, hence the grease on the hands already. As I said in my last video, I have multiple car projects happening. I've got a bunch of Volvos. That, of course, is what we're going to focus on today, as if you couldn't tell by the thumbnail. Because earlier today, about 20 minutes ago, I got this one into the front yard, into the driveway. Which means, ladies and gentlemen, we have my 87 245, my 91 245, and my sister's 86 244. Yes, folks, that's 3 Volvo 240s all in my driveway. Hey, I like it. Makes me happy. Like I said, I just got this one into the driveway and she needs some work. Now, she's slated to go on the road in about a week. I got an appointment at the DMV to get the tags for her so I can get her out on the road and actually do some driving. But that raises a point. How much work does she need? How bad is it? As I made mention, this car was sitting for about 1.5 years until today. And I already knew that I had some work to do. For instance, right now, the key, the ignition switch, when you put the key in and you turn it, sometimes it gets stuck and you got to give it a little bump to free it. It means I actually have to replace that whole switch. Luckily, I have one. In fact, I have all the keys to redo the entire thing, which I'm gonna have to do because as it stands, I only have one key for this car. And that makes me nervous. I want a backup key. Previous owner broke the key off in the door, I think. So I'm down to one key. Now I could get another key made pretty easily, but I also already have to switch out the ignition switch. And I have a full lock set and full extra set of keys. So in my mind, why don't I just switch everything over? That might be a video in the future. If you're curious to see how that's done, make sure you leave a comment and let me know down below. So overall, this car is not in horrible condition. Unfortunately, when I was moving the car, the bead on this tire broke. So you can see that's kind of an issue. I'll have to get a new tire so that the rims all match. For right now, I got a spare on there. It'll hold the car up. So right now, if you look in the back of the car, you'll see a couple things that I know need to be addressed. For instance, that's a sway bar. So I actually took the sway bars off of this car since it was just sitting, and I put them on my car. I was just gonna swap everything over, but in the process, some of the hardware I noticed was missing from previous, and I lost a bolt along the way somehow. It's probably in the garage somewhere. So I got two options. One, I can buy all new hardware because I'm missing parts of a bracket as well. Like I said, stuff missing from previous, like 2-3 owners ago, whatever. As in they were missing when we got them. Or as in they were missing when we got the car. So it's not my doing. Entirely, anyway. So I can either get new hardware, or I can upgrade and I can get new performance sway bars for a much better roll, or lack of, I should say. Remove the roll from the car so it'll sit more level. That's kind of the way I'm leaning towards, which means going to IPD and getting myself some new performance sway bars. Probably what we're gonna do. Trust me, if you've never changed your sway bars to a performance sway bar, trust me, it's well worth it. I highly, highly suggest it. We also have this box here that has the catalytic converter in it. Car currently has a leaking catalytic converter because somebody messed that up. I think it's also slightly clogged, so there's an issue there. And the oxygen sensor is also fried, so I got to replace that as well. Luckily, that's very easy to do, and I'll probably just do the cat and the oxygen sensor in the same go. The hood, I'm sure you noticed, is slightly misaligned. I need to align it properly, get it to sit flush And this engine bay needs a cleaning. Yeah. So with it sitting and its hood not sitting right, it just, it needs a clean, it needs a hose out, it needs. But overall, like, it's not bad, you know. Motor's a little dirty, but everything's good there. Could use a little tightening up. I hate the way Volvo did their wiring harnesses for their injectors coming down and through the intake manifold, and we'll see about that. So the plan with this car is it's basically going to be a daily driver, or a backup that can be used as a daily driver. And I'm probably not going to put in as much performance as I do my car. Speaking of which, I've got a big plan coming up for my car, my 87. Just not revealing anything yet, but something's on the way. So yeah, I'm not going to put a whole lot of performance into this car. The grand plan is for this car to be very luxury, very lush, and it should be good for if I want to, you know, like I said, if it's a backup car, you know, maybe I'll take it to work sometimes. If Stacy wants to drive it, I want something to be comfortable for her to drive occasionally as well. I know my car can be a little rough around the edges sometimes because I've done certain things to it that make it a little stiffer and not as luxury because it's a little sportier. It's still very lush, don't get me wrong, but I want this one to be even more so. This one is going to be the luxury car out of my fleet. It's cool to think I have a Volvo fleet happening here. That being said, certain things will change. I want to increase its airflow, to increase gas mileage and a little bit of performance, make it basically breathe easier, which will cause less wear and tear on the engine. So this airbox is going to come out fairly soon. We're going to go to a different air setup for the intake. Since I'm already going to be doing work on the Cat, I might delete the center muffler. Again, try and increase the airflow, make it breathe a little better. Interior wise is not too bad. This front seat needs a little work. When you sit, it sags a bit. Watch. Look at that. When you sit, you kind of sag a little bit in the seat. So I think the webbing needs to be adjusted or needs to be fixed. I'm gonna figure that out. Overall, it's not too bad. I've got a couple missing pieces that were broken off. Thanks, previous owner. Not the ex-girlfriend, but my father. Yeah. It's pretty good. I mean, it even has this armrest, which I need to put back in. It has cup holders. I know certain people will love that. Yeah, overall, a good cleaning, and it'll be better. Now, however, continuing on with things that are wrong and things that need to be kind of fixed up. You'll notice this hood, along with not sitting properly, has got some peeling and flaking happening on the top. And we've got a dent over here that needs to get popped. Most of this is just dirt, but you do see also the top, we have some discoloration. And around here, around the windshield, we've got some rust, which is oh so much fun. It's all rusted. So rust right here around the corners of the windshield is very common for the Volvos. I will need to address that. I'll need to address all the little bits of the flaws of the bodywork. Like I even have some pimpling and some creaking and creasing right here. Now I do have an extra hood, so I might just replace the hood. I'm not sure, because I think it's bent too. If you look, this corner looks a little bent, if you ask me. So I might end up replacing the hood because I have an extra one. In fact, I think I have 2 extra ones. Down the road, we'll be painting this car. And I got plans for all that, and we'll get more into that again in a later video when we start getting into major modifications. But painting the car will happen one day. The blue isn't bad, but I got a better idea. I will be switching the headlight bulbs at some point from the standard filament bulbs that are in here to LEDs. I have them in my car, and in my opinion, they're a lot better. They're brighter, you can see more, and as long as you align them properly, you're not blinding people. That's a big thing that people complain about, and you know, ward off with LEDs. But we'll get all into that in another video when I actually go to do it. You can also see that at one point, the original roof rack was here, but they got rid of it. So I'm gonna put that back on because I think it's real nice to have on some cars. That's it. My car, I want it sleek. I want a little more performance, so there's no roof rack. This car, it's gonna be a little more luxury, and having somewhere to put stuff like that might be good. So yeah, so it's a fair amount of work that I want to get done, but in terms of getting it on the road, it really doesn't need that much, which is kind of cool. But of course, the question everyone wants to know, will it start? Let's find out. Yeah. So these Volvos, man, they are wonderful. This car hasn't started in 2 years or a year and a half, whatever. And look at that. Idles nice and smooth. If I've said it once, I've said it 100 times. I love the Volvo 240. These cars are great. Well, folks, I hope you enjoyed the video. Just kind of going over a little bit of what's going on with this car. Like I said, it's not much, but there are plans moving forward, and we're going to get to it real soon. So make sure you're subscribed. If you're not, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell so you get notified when I upload a new video. Like I said, we're going to get moving on it. It's going to happen pretty fast. It's not going to be long before this car is out on the road driving. That's going to do it for me for today, guys. Just a short one. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure you leave a like. Till next time, y'all keep rocking and rolling. I'm going to keep taking care of this. I'll see you next one.